Okay, so while it's on my mind, I want to share a couple examples of patriarchy at this bizarre bull pool thing I went to today. Taureau piscine is what it's called in French. I'm in southern France right now on French family vacation, and this is like all over. And I don't support stuff like this, but it is part of the culture here, and I wanted to know what this was. I will never go to it again, but the little journalist in me was like, I gotta see what this is, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hate it and also find it wildly entertaining and fascinating. Fascinating is probably the better term. So I just want to give a couple examples of patriarchy even being in this thing. I mean, maybe it doesn't surprise you, but the way it showed up, just okay. So this is like this family tours around and they set up this thing, and it's all a bunch of trucks, and they like there's the workers, and then there's the people in the vests are audience members. So there's like the yellow vest team, and then there's the red vest team over there. This is one of the guys who worked for the thing, like trying to get everybody riled up, right? In the beginning, they were just playing football. See, there's this pool in the middle, and they're, kicking the ball around. They have tails for some reason and bike helmets to protect themselves for the bulls. Before I continue, this is the kind of stuff I share on my Patreon. Weird random travel stuff, personal stories, whatever. I also do lives. Please go follow. I am clearly not in my place. This is a room with a lava lamp and children's French books. Fully immersed here. Anyway, even if you can't afford one of the tiers, if you follow, you at least can keep up with my work in case the algorithm makes you forget I exist. So, to the bull thing. So all the people who are like, this dude works for these dudes who are just wearing clothes without a vest work for this thing. So they bring the bull out and they're like, okay guys, like if you jump to this fourth bar right here, like if the bull comes after you, he can't hurt you. The bull has like tennis balls or something, so the bulls can't actually like hurt anybody. Again, I do not endorse this at all. Like, I don't know, like in Spain, I don't like this whole bull thing is all over southern France. I know like Spain is known for this, but like they have these ferias all over, 5-day festivals, all summer long, where people just get wasted. I have so much footage of that. Flip-flop throwing contest, a shopping cart race that were for kids. Like, it's like one of the biggest parties you could ever go to. And I don't really like the whole bull element of it, but it is what it is. But they don't hurt the bull, but I find this like really weird to be entertained by like this. You know what I mean? But whatever. When in Rome, you watch a bull in a pool for some reason. I just want to point out, like, all of the people who volunteered were men in the beginning. Shocker. How much you want to bet the idea of all of this was a man's? Because if you know my work, men have a death wish. They don't tend to respect life. They take a lot of life. They tend to be parasites, and don't even respect their own lives, much less that's why they make such terrible leaders. But like, why? And at least now it's a little safer with the covered horns. But it was men who volunteered for this, and that is part of patriarchy, having them do something very risky to prove themselves, because that's what they have to do. They don't have to, but that's what they're taught to do. Honestly, this little bull, like, she was like not having it. She was like annoyed more than anything. And like the guys who work there, their job is just to taunt these bulls, to try to get them all riled up so that these audience members have to run and like, anyway. But they also try to protect the audience members too by like distracting them if the bull gets a little too, whatever. It's weird. But at one point during this thing, if you want to see the whole video of how crazy this is, again, I'm going to put it on Patreon as soon as I have a signal. I don't know if you're even going to see this within the next week or so, because I have no signal. So it's been very hard for me to work. But while all this was going on, at a certain point, I didn't hear all the joke. I didn't understand everything. I was very overstimulated by cotton candy, popcorn, more children around me than I'm used to. microphones, shouting French all around me. And again, I've been living in France for a long time. That's not weird, but like, it was just like an overstimulation, and I was like fascinated by this, right? And so I understand some of what's happening, but he's talking really fast. And whenever Anthony would hear like a joke, he'd be like, oh. I was like, what would he say? So one of the jokes that the guy made, again, it is all men running the show. It's women running the show behind the scenes. You know what I mean? They are doing the tickets, they are selling the food, they are doing all kinds of emotional labor and probably planning and everything, but it's all men doing all this part. And the announcer's a man. And at one point in time, there was a woman who got involved in this because after this whole thing happened, they would like have other activities like this tug of war thing that happened. It was like all men, and then they brought 2 women to be in the front of this tug of war thing. Now, what's kind of crazy is like the only person who's going into the pool if the whole team loses is the woman in the front. And also, like, she's not wearing biking gear or whatever, but no bulls were out there while they were doing this. I don't understand why this happened, but it's just like a bunch of random stuff. And I think it was to one of these women after the whole event, the announcer made a joke, something like about, oh, and hey, by the way, like, I hope you had, something like, it just made a dumb joke. And it's like, don't worry, I'm married, just in case you're wondering. But, to be honest, my wife is worse than this bull. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Does it never stop? Does that all men do is impress other men by negging their wives and complaining about the wife? The wife who probably organized this whole thing and is probably the brains behind this. Like, this is why you would never get me to volunteer for one of these things, because every single time the woman gets made fun. The last time I went to one of these, last year, we came down and we saw something like this, but it was a French monster truck show. And a woman volunteered to do that. And one of the jokes was after, like, they rode around in this monster truck thing or whatever, like a car that was, it's so hard to explain, y'all. And after she was done, the driver pulled out a bra and was like, look what I was like, what? Oh my God, like this is like, So like complaining about having wives and comparing them to a bull. I mean, it's not a big deal, but this is such a normal part of culture. Like, I know this is a big part of U.S. American culture, but here too, I guess. Just throw in that joke of like, oh, ball and chain. Like, I forget the exact words, but it was rude. Anthony was like, ugh. Especially since he's been watching my work and reading the comments of all the videos that I do and just listening to women's stories, he's like, my God, it is everywhere. I'm like, yeah, you can't unsee it. By the way, so this is like, these are little balls they have on the bull. So the bull comes in and out of the pool with all these different games. They're throwing like hoops onto the bull. Then they put this thing on it. Apparently they used to put like a rooster thing on it or when Anthony was a kid, that's what he said that they did. Now it's like this little floppy thing. They had like the men laying down right before the bull comes out. These are the guys who work. At a certain point, they had the audience members get in the pool, lay down in the pool while this bull is running around. I don't know about you, but I want to get stomped on by a bull. Like, he's just chasing it around. Now, when they did this one, a woman had joined the team. I don't know if she, like, during halftime, she's like, I want to see if I can do that. So a woman joined the team. You'll know how I say that men use women to get out of looking like cowards. They are depending on women to break up fights, to save the day, to say, I don't feel good about this. So then they can be like, ugh, okay. When all of them felt the same way, that's what happened here. They're all laying in this pool, right? And this dude's out here taunting this bull with his red shirt. Like, this bull, like, you got one bull, right? So at a certain point, when all this is happening, the woman is like, screw this, and she like screams and she runs to the fence for safety. And then the announcer is like, why'd you do that? Why'd you quit? She was like, I'm afraid. And then this happened. Like, this woman knew. She sensed something was up. So all these dudes are left in the pool. She's over here hanging out on the fence. And they're like, oh my God, what if these bulls, like, there's like 5 of them, I think. And all of a sudden they're like, screw this. And they all run over here and join her. They join her because she knows. And without her, they would have stayed there and maybe gotten trampled, even though none of them wanted to. None of them wanted to stay, and they all did until she said no. That's what all men do. Because right before that happened, right before those men all got out, when that one woman, the only woman on the team, was like, she screamed and she felt it, a visceral like no. And she didn't even know all those bulls were about to come out. She ran and she went up and she got to safety. And then the guy on the speaker is taunting, what? Oh, were you afraid? I don't know. I couldn't hear if she said anything back. And then they released 4 other bulls. And there's all these dudes. Like, do you know how heavy those things are? If that one of them had stepped on any of those dudes, they would have broken ribs. And right before they even started, they made all of the volunteers raise their hand in front of an entire crowd and said, you do understand if anything happens to you and you get injured, you know the risk you're taking and we are not liable. It's not like the US where like everyone's going to sue everybody. People like, this is just not like that here. Like, it's not just like everybody sues all the time. Not saying they don't ever, but it's just not like the US. But when he did that, Anthony looked at me, he's like, they're trying to cover, like, they're making sure, like, they got witnesses that they all agreed if anything happens to me, like, they're not liable, right? And I was actually really proud because two men had left. One guy was like, claimed that he twisted his ankle. I'm not sure if he did, but you know what? If you have to say that to get out of something you're not comfortable with, like, that's fine. Another guy left, didn't say anything, but the only person that they questioned was the woman who got up and ran while laying in a pool with a bull being taunted right next to her and something fell off, right? And then as soon as all those bulls come out, they're all probably like, okay, we finally have our out. We have her out. She wasn't feeling it. We can all go because she cleared the way. And this is why women are better leaders. But what pisses me off is that one of the reasons why men always like to have a woman around is because they're hoping we will take the hit for being cowards. Well, I don't know, like she said, I mean, I guess. How many times have are men expecting women to break up fights, right? They know some of us will go in there and be like, no, right? And literally when I was teaching children in the wilderness who were, on long backpacking trips, who were really going through some stuff, in my training, they were like, hey, if there's a fight, the female leaders should probably break it up. Like because if a guy goes in there, they may get like even more, have more to prove. But if a woman gets between two teenage boys fighting, then they're not going to hit her. And I'm just like, in what world do you live in? Like, it may not be as acceptable to hit her, but men. So I had to break up fights because I was the woman. They literally trained us. So this is not just a thesis or an opinion. This is literally this is what they expect. Women to step in and make men feel comfortable following their intuition or getting out of dangerous situations because to save face. We take the hit, right? If you're rock climbing and a woman is just like, Now a man who's emotionally intelligent will be like, oh, you know what? Maybe she's more in touch with her intuition and I'm not, and I'm more in my ego. I'll follow her lead. Like they understand why. But a lot of men, they're just waiting. And I've had women in my comments say this a lot. Any women who've been in the outdoors, how annoying it is when you know that no one wants to be doing this and they're waiting for a woman to be like, guys, y'all. They're waiting for a mommy to be like, I think this is unsafe. I think this is a bad idea. Now, if they're not like total pricks, they'll actually listen to that and be like, yeah, because they actually know they don't want to do it. And sometimes if they're really like in their ego, they'll be like, and then they do it anyway, and then the whole group dies, right? But I am telling you, they are relying on us to be the shock absorbers of men's recklessness, their violence. Like we literally are as one of my commenters said, the crash pads for men, right? We're the ones who they fall on, like who we look bad because they can't stand up to other men and be like, bro, I'm scared. because they know they're going to get ridiculed and they don't want to deal with it. So if there's one woman in the group, they wait for her. They know she will. They know she will. And a lot of times women know that the other guys are scared, and then that she has to assume that role to be like, I don't feel safe. And then they'll be like, well, yeah, okay. But I saw it in real time today, y'all. In real time. I mean, I've seen it in real time in my life, but I have it on video. Oh, I was like, as soon as she ran, I was like, they're all going to go. I was like, look at that, the woman. She knows this is like this seems crazy. And then they all followed her as soon as 4 bulls came out. God! Can we just stop assuming men are good leaders? They are not. They're waiting for us to lead, but they want the credit for being good leaders. And then we die trying to follow them and like protect their ego. Stop. Assume that you're a better leader until proven otherwise. Unless they are very emotionally intelligent and keep their ego in check, don't assume they know what they're doing and they're not full of fear or delusion or both. Anyway, I will never go to one of these ever again. I'm reporting from an event that happens a lot. I felt so bad for these. I mean, whatever, I guess, what's the alternative? They get eaten? Like, I don't know, whatever. I'm not like a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever. I don't know. I don't eat meat really, but I'm not like, whatever. I love cows, y'all. I love cows. I've had so many cool experiences with cows that this made me sad. Just made me sad. If they're taken care of, great. It just seemed really weird that the whole audience is coming there to watch these cows get mad and attack people. It's just weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm still missing something. I preferred the monster truck rally than this. I'll say that. Anyway, let me know what you think. And if you want to see the full video I'm going to make a video. Again, it's like I'm just not having a signal has been really screwing with me. But it's good because I needed to take a vacation and I have to be forced to take one, I guess. But yeah, join my Patreon if you want to watch like more of this because there's more. They had like fake sumo wrestling, like the suits, you know what I mean? They had, they didn't have donkeys. That's one of the reasons why I love donkeys. I was like, oh, are they going to have donkeys? Like a petting, like whatever. I love donkeys. There was no donkeys. I feel like this was false advertising because y'all had donkeys on your little poster. It's literally why I took this photo. I was like, yay, donkeys. But yeah, they had this, everything they said happened, but anyway, whatever. It was still a cultural experience. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about in terms of men making you be the one to be like, I think this is a bad idea. I bet most of y'all have a story like this. Please feel free to share any insight, wisdom. Love to hear it. Like, comment, share. I'm almost at 25K, y'all. In like 8 months, I went from 0 to like 22 or 23K. And in the last 4 months, I have been stuck. So let's get there. Anyway, let me know if you heard the comment song because it's coming. This is the comment song, Bull edition. This is where we went tonight, and it was pretty crazy. I don't ever want to go back to this thing. Look at this bull. The comment song. I'm not even singing this song at night. No, sorry. I'm tired from dealing with this bull stuff. Anyway, they had a bunch of stuff, and then they had a bunch of children come and get this stuff out of the pool. They also had a child literally working for this, like he was like maybe 5. Anyway, look at this insanity of the comment song. Look at this, all these guys. They laid down, the bull came down and jumped over those men. These are the men in the pool. This song is not a song, sorry. This is what people had to sit on because they oversold. There was not enough seats and the comment song is almost over. Anyway, it was so random. I hope you enjoyed this. Join the Patreon to see the full thing. The comment song. Hey, let me know if you heard this.